Raider Nation, what's going on? This is the Raiders Report, and today's show is brought to you by Tavour. Check out all these beers that these guys brought us, and if you want a whole bunch of custom beers brought right to your door, head over to Tavour.com right now. Sign up, use that promo code CHATSPORTS for $10 off your very first purchase. Okay, guys, let's get into some high-quality Raiders news. The first one I got coming up, well, not too much of an update right now on Khalil Mack, and this is a little bit frustrating, I get it, but as the situation surrounding Khalil Mack holdout from the Raiders slowly draws closer to the start of the regular seasons, tensions, well, they're getting a little bit tighter. There's been no positive update on contract talks since much earlier in the offseason, and even then, there hasn't been much to give fans reasons for excitement. That talk has not moved forward whatsoever. Most recently, NFL.com's Ian Rappaport revealed Mack's camp and the Raiders haven't even spoken about a contract since February. Yeah, my birthday's in February. If anyone cares, wants to send me even more beer, I would totally be down for that. Raider Nation, thank you so much for tuning in to the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter at MitchellRenz365. And don't be afraid to subscribe to the Raiders Report on YouTube for the latest Raiders rumors, news, and a lot more. I would definitely appreciate that. Okay, head back into those news for me, please, Elena. Awesome. Next one coming up. Who's the only guy to speak to Khalil Mack? Charles Woodson, apparently. So I like to see this because, well, Woodson's a fan of Chat Sports. I know that. Friend of James Yoder, and last week reported that Gruden and Mack, they haven't even spoken. The only person talking to Mack is Charles Woodson, and in an interview, Woodson stated that he recently gave Mack some advice on how to handle the holdout. This is what Woodson said. I just told him, whenever you come back, I don't know what happens with your deal, if you get a new deal or if you're playing on the same deal. When you come back ready. It's interesting to hear that Woodson and Mack have connected, although it's unknown who reached out to who. Unfortunately, though, the Raiders legend didn't offer much in terms of what Mack said altogether. Okay, next bit of news I got for you guys coming up on the board. Raiders, they signed a cornerback, Raysean Pringle. I wish I had some in my hand, but no big deal, right? So this guy, he joined the Raiders yesterday after spending his rookie season on both the Green Bay Packers and the Jaguars. Practice squad in 2017, a former running back and wide receiver of Southern Utah. Interesting to see that he played there. And in a corresponding move, the Raiders have waived injured defensive back Shaquille Richardson, who participated with the team throughout the club's off-season program. What's going on, guys? If you like craft beer like me, Tavour is going to help you discover rare craft beers, curate your own collection, and you're going to get a box delivered right to your door. Go to Tavour.com right now. Sign up. Use that promo code CHATSPORTS to get $10 off your very first purchase. Thank you to Tavour and the Raider Nation. Those were my news. Now I'm going to get into some Raiders rumors. And if you're new to my show, I need you to understand my Raiders rumors scale. 0 Chucky heads, tuck rule, tuck that. That rumor is not going to happen. 1 Chucky head, small shred of truth, 25% chance it's going to happen. 2 Chucky heads, people are talking. I like to think 50-50. 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely, 75% chance. And then 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. 100% this rumor is going to happen. Okay, let's get into some Raiders rumors. First one coming up on the board, Arden Key, flashing at camp. I'm going to give this one 4 Chucky heads, believe it, baby. Now, I have a little bit of a dirty mind, and when I first read that Arden Key was flashing at camp, yeah, it's not what I expected, I'll be honest. But Arden Key's spin move is lightning quick, and he's in front of a moment right now where he's showing, and he's just showing that he can flash for this team. The third-round edge rusher has victimized several offensive linemen, flashing the immense talent he showcased as a junior at LSU. Key believes practices are going well because he's comfortable with his new team. This is what he had to say. I'm playing much faster. The playbook is getting locked down, so I'm able to just react much faster. That's a good thing. Arden could be the key to the Raiders' defense, and the key to my heart, well, I don't know if you guys know this, is craft beer. And I want you guys to know my top 5 types of beer. So I have all sorts of favorites. I like ales, right? And then my number 3 is stouts. 4 is porters and lagers. For me, though, when I think of lagers, I think of chilling with my dad, enjoying a lager, and I don't know. But ultimately, IPAs are my favorite. So if you guys want to send me an IPA, I would definitely be down for that. Okay, next room I got coming up on the board, Obi. Is he going to be a week 1 starter? Oh, man, I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Now, Obi's a common name on the Raiders Report, and he's practicing right now with the Raiders' first team. This dude is dripping with talent, but raw talent doesn't get you on the field, and he needs to stay healthy. It appears that the only reason that Obi is practicing with the Raiders' first team is because Gilchrist and Joseph, well, they're injured. And when they come back, he might not be practicing with the week 1 starters any longer. Okay, next room I got for you guys coming up on the board. Raiders, they're going to cut DeAndre Washington. Ooh, man, I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads, pretty likely. Now, this rumor, well, this one's for me. And this is how I dissected it. The Raiders released their depth chart yesterday. A rumor that has been swirling all offseason is which running back will the Raiders release, DeAndre Washington or Jalen Richard. Now, guys, before I get into that, I want to bring up the 5 running backs that these guys have on their depth chart, and it's Marshawn Lynch there led at number 1, and then it's Doug Martin, and then it's Jalen Richard, and then it's Chris Warren, who they just signed, and then DeAndre Washington, all the way down there at the bottom. And if I'm telling you right now, if it was between Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington, well, the fact that he's all the way down there at 5, that tells me that this is a guy who they could potentially cut. So I think that's why it's 3 Chucky heads. It's pretty likely. Okay, next rumor coming up on the board, Raiders to trade Khalil Mack. You're going to have to find out from a word from our sponsor, Tavor.
Now, before we continue on with the Raiders report, I've got to let you guys know that we are sponsored by Tavor. Beer drinkers, listen up. This is the app you need. You can now have everyday access to craft beer you can't get in your own area. A custom box of beer delivered directly to your door. You can sign up today at Tavor.com, but make sure you use the promo code CHATSPORTS so you get $10 off your order, $20 or more.
I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Last week I said on the Raiders report that the Raiders may trade Khalil Mack, and it looks like Paul Gutierrez, well, he watches the Raiders report. He wrote an article about a trade that every NFL team could make. He listed Khalil Mack as a potential trade candidate for the Raiders. Now, Mack's holdout is now at 11 days. Gutierrez writes, would it be smart for Oakland to trade the face of its defense as it begins a rebuild under Jon Gruden? Probably not. But as Gruden himself recently told NFL Network, the Raiders' defense was not that good in 2017, even with Mack. Reggie McKenzie asked Gutierrez at the coaches' meeting in March if he had an extra $100 million to pay Mack. And if a team flashed a first-round pick at Oakland for his services of Mack, the Raiders would be silly not to listen to them. So, guys, I want to know from you on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're not scared, 10 being you're freaking out, are you scared that the Raiders are actually going to trade Khalil Mack? At first, when I started talking about this, I would have said no way. I'm starting to get a little bit worried. A solid 6. I'm a solid 6, maybe in a few ways. Okay, next room I got coming up on the board, Martavis Bryant. Is he going to be a bust this year? I'm going to give this one 2 Chucky heads. People are talking. Muscle weighs more than fat, right? And this guy's absolutely shredded. He's 6'4", 220 pounds. This guy's an absolute freak. And you could argue, when healthy, and his focus is on the field, Martavis is one of the most explosive receivers in the NFL. So far, however, his transition to the Oakland Raiders, who acquired him in April, just hasn't quite been smooth. He's shown flashes in training camp, but has missed practice this last week due to an illness. This is what Gruden had to say yesterday. He's got to get out there, and he's got to play better. He's in a competitive situation. Right now, a lot of other receivers have had a nice camp. He just got to learn the offense. He's got to stay out here. He's had some illnesses. He's got to get on the field. He's got to master the offense and become more versatile, and that's the key to making this team better. So, I want to know from you guys, true or false, Martavis Bryant is going to be a bust. If you think Bryant's going to be a bust, give me a heart. True. If you don't think he's going to bust, false, give me a like. Okay, next rumor coming up on the board, a suspension coming for Daryl Worley. Oh, boy, I'm going to give this one 3 Chucky heads. It's pretty likely. Now, in April of this year, cornerback Worley was arrested in Pennsylvania on charges of a DUI, possessing firearms in public, and resisting arrest. He was promptly released by the Eagles. But the specter of Worley's legal troubles remain, and the Raiders knew that they would eventually have to cross that bridge with their new young and talented corner. On June 18th, Worley pleaded guilty to the charges, and yesterday it was reported that he was sentenced to 3 days jail time and 2 years of probation. This sentence is likely to bring a suspension for the NFL during the 2018 season, according to Ian Rappaport. My name is Mitchell Renz. Please follow me on Twitter, at MitchellRenz365. Next week, I'm going to talk about the Raiders preseason week 1, how they did. I'm going to talk about some winners and losers. And until next time, go Raiders.